What is up, Mech Warriors? Today I've got a few more Panther games for you because, everyone loves Panther, or at least I do. I wanted to see how well did the coaching work. I'm trying to improve things. Part of this channel, it's not really specific to this game, Mech Warrior Online. I just want to you look at the process of self-coaching, thinking, evaluating the effects of things, and probably try to self-coach some other games too. Mech Warrior just happens to be one that I love. I wish people would understand it a little better. I think it's kind of frustrating to get into as a beginner, so that's why I chose this as the first game that I wanted to show some self-coaching on. And because I like playing it enough, it's got to be a game where I'm going to put the practice into, because it's kind of pointless to coach yourself on something if you're not going to practice. Like, I love chess in a way. Like, I do a lot of chess puzzles, but I don't like playing chess online as much. I like playing chess with people. I don't know why. It just feels a lot more fun, especially people I know. Like, and maybe I over prep for that. But I don't love just playing randomly online. I don't know. I like the personal element, and but this game, I love playing it online. It's fun, and you do meet some weird people on there. Anyway, getting right into this stuff, I want to talk a little more this time about the strategy of this mech and like how it's based on the actual stats that it gets. I talked a little bit about the quirks being so insane for energy, and like you get PPC velocity too, so you're going to use PPCs probably, but there are a couple different options for that. There's the ERs, the snubs, or the lights here don't really make sense because you only have 2 energy slots. You could throw some missiles on here too. You could do like a snub plus missile build. But the reason that I kind of like this mid-range harasser build style for this is also to do with these armor quirks, because this mech can tank kind of an insane amount. If you watch some of Data's videos on light mech tanking and how you should kind of be jumping a little bit and just moving constantly using the terrain, I'm not even that good at it, but with this thing you can tank an insane amount of damage. But the problem is that that right arm having all of your main armament, you don't want to get disarmed. And if you're fighting at mid-range, I find that people have a lot more difficulty targeting a component like that, versus if you're in a brawler, I feel like people are a little better at just nabbing that right arm off you. And this thing is pretty decently armored for a light also, so like in a way it can kind of be a bait to get them to go after it if they don't get it and you don't lose it by the end of the match. But that's more common mid-range too. I feel like you lose it too much at close range. So even though this thing's armor quirked out the wazoo, I don't like using it in the close range because losing that arm just sucks so much. So, and then I also kind of could talk a little bit about the rate of fire of some of these weapons and like how that relates to exposure. So like I had a friend that would like love to play some rack mechs on this game and like do kind of high DPS weapons. But the PPC is kind of the opposite of that, where it's like not very high DPS. It's got a decent heat ratio. I mean, the ER PPC has a worse heat ratio, same DPS but longer range. And the snub, even the snub is like, it's got better cooldown, but it's still not a what I would call a cooldown oriented weapon. Like the X pulse lasers, ironically, these are the weapons that benefit the least from cooldown quirks among all the laser weapons, because their cooldown is kind of dominated by the burn time. So these are better with like laser burn time reduction quirks, I would say, because that's a large portion of their overall cooldown. But anyway, I'm going into a lot of detail here, but all this is to say, like, I want to be able to use this armor effectively by tanking a lot for the team. And my definition of when that's going to be effective is if the team is getting kills while they're shooting me, then I think it's effective tanking. And if the team is not getting kills while they're shooting me, then it's not very good tanking. So we'll try to pay attention to that a little bit during some of these games. Yeah. All right. I don't want to spend too long. Just jump right into it. But that's why I went with these mid-range PPCs a little more. I want to do this mid-range harasser, but I do also want to tank at mid-range. That's part of the game plan. So there's both the getting into positions where you fight and don't get shot back at, which can shut down approaches that I talked about last time. But I think I didn't really appreciate also the idea of just occupying attention and letting your team get higher damage, which can lead to wins, even though the PSR system in a way discourages that because, you know, it depends largely on your damage. But I think you could still kind of climb. Part of this is like, can I climb PSR with this kind of crappy mech? Yeah. Let's find out from these gameplay clips. So let's jump right into the first one, which is on the old whatever this map's called. This is River City and Domination. So there's the circle in the center of the map, and we've got some friendly lights that are going to take that circle for us, which is really nice. 5%. And one of the things I like to kind of do if I spawn on this side of the map is there's this high ground city in Echo 5, and there can often be a little skirmish over there, and who wins it? It can be a good long-range sniping spot where I could get, as you can see, some kind of uncontested harassing in. Looks like I'm shooting, is that guy potentially AFK, but I will change my target to someone who's actually going to shoot back at me. But now I see, thankfully, hopefully I'm looking at the light map, the mini map, that there is a medium mech with me, and I've got a nice ECM buddy here. But at the same time, I don't want to get into a heavy engagement here. I'm not suited to a 1v1 with lights or anything else at close range. So like this Piranha is a potential nightmare scenario because he'll out DPS the crap out of me and he can chase me, and he just got a ton of back damage in, which is something I'm noticing I really need to be a lot more careful about with this thing. Like, I could have been twisting a lot better there. And now the question is, so I got the UAV down and I saw a bunch of enemies, but can I get out of this situation and actually continue to get damage in for the rest of the game? And taking even more back damage is a kind of bad sign for that, but we'll find out. It's like, it looks like my buddy over there did get killed.
Why do we even have lights?
So, you know, we didn't get any kills there. So the quote-unquote tanking I was doing here, it wasn't effective in terms of letting my team do damage. We'll see. Maybe the team could have gotten into a position. I guess the value that the team gets there might not be just entirely damaged, but as you can see now, I'm doing this hard full rotation all the way across the map to at least to the center, where we're gonna try to hopefully get some pop darting in, hopefully not get any more damage from behind. This is, I'm going to turn the volume down here a little bit. I hope it's not way too loud.
Hold the line. Hold that damn line.
Popping up and seeing some guys on the high ground. The question is just, can we find some spots?
6 Fox 5.
Like, I do have shots on this guy, and this actually could be a kind of uncontested fire slash not let him be comfortable up there, but looks like maybe not because he's moved.
We are visible.
I don't quite know about rotating around here, if that's wise. I don't know if I want to pause it just because we got so many games to get through. I want to do more games just so that it's more of a representative sample. Like, I'm not cutting out any of these unless I make a recording mistake or something. I'm trying to just show like every single game so that it's, you know, you see not just a selection of the good games that I'm playing, obviously. I am like trying to figure out, is that a dude I can shoot right there, that Marauder? I think it is, isn't it? Or is that a friendly? That is, yeah. So I finally realized I can shoot him in the butt there, which was really unfortunate. Sometimes, oh my gosh, it took me quite a while to recognize that. And this is kind of an intense fight going over here, so I'm glad I'm helping. You can see that what happened is from the high ground in Echo 5, they rolled through, and I did expect that. So in a sense, like I wanted to put pressure on their behind. I think doing that in Echo 6 to slow the rotation, because I doubt their snipers are able to support this over here. But maybe what I really should have done is come back earlier. Thing is, like, if they're smart, I don't think they'll always be giving us free shots like this. But I think we're getting some help in. We're at least delaying it. Like, that Marauder might not have had to turn around and everything. Oh boy. And now we see Big Boy coming in. and G6 kind of pushing around the corner. Careful peeking. Oh, it looks like I can hear myself now.
Kilo in the open.
So overall, like 3-4, the team has completed the rotation, but their team has also completed a rotation, and I'm guessing, I don't know if we got any of the kills over there, but I should try to maybe keep track where on the minimap the kills are coming from. I am glad I've survived and
Undercover.
managed to, like, I guess, probably slow down the rotation a little bit by providing some resistance. Maybe that wouldn't even, like, maybe it would have been better if I didn't slow it down though. Yeah, it looks, oh man, I can barely see that guy. I think almost heat vision would help. Just keeping these locks is gonna like help my team do a ton of damage, right? So I don't even necessarily have to do the damage myself. And it looks like I'm just standing on my buddy here. Maybe I should stop doing that.
New target acquired.
It's 5-5, so this is a close game. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. It looks like we got 2 more minutes. This is what I want to be doing. Great. Get scouting information, get shots off, miss because we're not executing the
Target destroyed.
shots, right? But here we go, and ooh. And the full rotation is now coming into us, and it's hard for me to shoot without exposing my back, but I think I gotta shoot here, so... And this guy's engaged on, so this is kind of safe. If I do a little bit of tanking here, you know, this is what I mean by slow down, because if they're kind of taking me pop-tarting, I mean, we'll see if they want to push all the way through. How was that not a hit? Was that not a hit? Oh my god, what just happened? That was not a hit, huh? And having more jump jets, like, just lets your jump juice recharge faster. It lets you get the higher angles here. Even though I'm not doing a ton of damage, this pop-tarting is sort of a similar tactical effect, but, you know, it looks like we're probably losing this game. Just judging by how spread out, I think it looks like I'm dying here, unless I manage to get some crazy survival off.
Also critical damage.
We might have gotten enough damage just from shooting long enough. But only 410, yeah. I mean... So yeah, in this game, we neither fully, I think, effectively tanked 7-11, nor did we get enough damage in, but we got a PSR equals because of doing apparently enough damage.
New target acquired.
On you, Panther. I got ACM.
So it's unfortunate, like, maybe I should have called out to my teammate here that I was planning on retreating, like, very quickly and not engaging, because I am, like, suspecting a NASCAR might happen, so I don't want to be... I want to slow down the NASCAR maybe, but I don't want to be killed by the NASCAR. Took way too much back damage. Did it end up killing me? Not really, because I got the open torso right, and that's what killed me. So actually the back damage didn't end up killing me. Debatably, I could have tried to disengage harder, but sometimes I just want to let these games end. I'm gonna pull up the... sheet for this. Their duplicate. Duplicate. Alright. Okay, 410 0 5 loss equals, and then the notes on this game, better team comms could have helped early, avoid early kills on our side losing people, I mean. I think the rotation was good. Rotate after holding off NASCAR is good. But turn around, make teammates out earlier. Like, I spent a bit too long cooking over here. Even though this was kind of a good kill there, but this is after maybe. But anyway, I should have like been really ready for these guys to protect them. Losing them kind of that's when the enemy team got the kill advantage first. So as a light mech, like really you should aspire to be in the most impactful place, the most impactful fight at every time. Like that's kind of the advantage of having the speed. So can't really expect everyone over here to turn around, but you know, that because of how the team is organized, this actually could have been a good hold, because you know, holding this major cover of the center of the map and shooting down this way, these guys kind of rotated slowly over. Anyway, on to the next game. We got a lot of games to go through, so I gotta be faster on these. And just zoom through the beginning here of the series station. Hopefully we'll get some scouting in. What I want to try to do more of while scouting is jump scouting. So in this case I'm exposing myself a little bit, but I think all this inclusive crap will at least reduce the damage. And I'm down to 96. Just I don't I'd rather take less while scouting, but this is potentially good right here. And look at how my team's rotating in behind me. This guy does not necessarily know what he's in for, especially just in terms of the LRMs that will rain on him if I can keep a lock going. Which does seem to have worked out pretty well. Like, I didn't even do that damage. That's not going to count for me, but he was not in a 1v1 there, was he? And I did kind of bait him in, so I think that was good. Good baiting. Baiting's probably like one of the strongest things you can do as a light, especially like this one here. I can taunt and bait more in addition to holding those angles. I think that can be the way that I could like actually influence the outcome of some of these games that seem unwinnable. Oh my gosh, taking forever to do that and getting shot, which so should shoot the UAV from cover probably. And anyway, like, it's even worth it when there are targets popping up all over. And there, I think using a little jumping would have helped me potentially avoid some of this damage, but for 87 we're not too bad, and that's spread across the mech nicely. So looks like the team is doing quite well here. We're in a really good situation, and it's almost time to like really start exposing with the kill advantage here with 4-1. Yeah, like A, it's time to just start trying to get some damage so that you don't get a PSR down and this kind of win, and B, kind of everyone starts to, a lot of good players will get a sort of killer instinct here and start tanking. And I've kind of said it before, but like the more everyone is fighting at once, like the more you should also be exposing yourself to damage in order to maximize your damage. So I don't mind taking damage here, and look at that fish in a barrel over here. I mean, not exactly, but I've got the high ground. I can really control this engagement, but you know, they can't focus on any one of us because they're just getting so swarmed that You know, you can just get in there. This was a
Target acquired.
kind of textbook game. I definitely didn't win it alone, but I will say we did a bit of our job. We got some scouting off. We baited that dude in early. We helped suppress in the rotation. Here even, it's, you know, we took some damage from this tanking, from all this dude coming over, but you know, that was still decent because the team's like really rolling in here. So
Acquired.
yeah, well played by the team. This is a kind of case of the NASCAR working, isn't it? Because our team NASCAR'd hard, but it worked out quite well. So when I say NASCAR is not actually a bad strategy, that's why people do it. But on to the next game, we got Grim Plexus, and it looks like I've come to the low ground. I think I had a spot on the last time I was playing it of on the right side of the town down by F8. There's some pillars, and it looks like here I'm a little higher ground, just maybe not even doing any damage, but potentially could be slightly annoying. 653 meter range on these. But we're taking the high. This is ballsy, right? But I want to show them my mech without taking damage, ideally. So even just seeing and shooting like that, it's gonna make them slow down. They're gonna be like, oh, I can just sit here and take shots at them, so I don't need to move forward anymore. And that gives your team more time to get into position. So
The flea running towards E6, E7.
I really do see value in just showing your face at all
Belt or E6.
in a light. Even like getting these ineffective shots off downrange, just in their general direction. Like that guy. I guess should be a little better about lining these up perfectly, huh? It's hard to tell when it's going to hit the train on an edge like that, but hopefully I can get some of these off. It's not going to do much damage at that range anyway, so this is more I should just be not taking damage at this range, waiting for the engagement to start, and down to 99%, that's, I'll call that not taking damage. Like, these are still favorable trades, even though it's not as good as it would be if I had ERs by any means. And I probably would have plenty of heat, so yeah, ERs would definitely be better there. To get the value of the PPCs over the ERs, you have to fire quite a bit. You have to use that heat. So far, it's just a slow positioning game, but if we can keep jumping here, occupy attention while the team gets kind of wherever they feel like they need to be in their own particular mech in order to do damage, we might set the team up. And it seems like the enemy team isn't really winning the sniping war, judging from how well they're doing against me, at least. So
Warning, incoming missile.
a single big ATM volley could be extremely painful, and that did take, that was, I don't know, thunderbolts or something. Those the small ones. Okay, looks like what are they going to try to push through
5%.
standard NASCAR style? We know that there are a ton of them on a hill in F6 and that area, so they can't fully commit to it. And if they do, but oh my gosh, oh man, I think I did I press something on my keyboard there and I couldn't move. That was so bad. I think if that king crab had like known I would have stood still, I would have just died. But sometimes doing something just so unexpected, you know, helps out. And I'm glad I'm getting shots off here. I mean, I need to be, this is kind of a weakness of the mech. At least I'm served well by the PPCs over the ERs here because I can just shoot forever, which I couldn't do with the ERs. But they're still not ideal. Like, obviously the snubs would be better now.
25%. New target acquired.
And when it comes to that cooldown conversation,
5%.
jump jets sort of reward longer cooldown weapons if you're going to be pop-tarting. So, and another reason. I mean, snubs are still a long-ish cooldown weapon that's good for jump jetting for sure.
5%. Fuel at
Well, just whip a few more shots. Let's jump to the end. I think. Well, oh wait, no, it's still 1-1. Oh my gosh! Look. Why do I feel like the game is
acquired.
about to be over because our team's like rolling through successfully now, and yeah, now it's 4-1. I don't know, the killer instinct is coming in here. And here, another example of just holding the lock. I'm in this position to help our teammate get a ton of damage off here. And you don't have to have a tag, you know, or narc or whatever. PPCs or
Acquired.
break ECM.
Fuel.
I think that guy is basically, you know, out of the fight anyway.
New target.
So don't need to focus him down too hard. And I'm a little bit exposed here. This is where the rest of the team is, but, you know, it's good that I'm not targeting that dude yet. And now it's good that we move on. But I'd like it if I looked around a little bit. Then we just saw an enemy get killed in Echo 5, and now I'm getting shot in the back. But
Target destroyed.
it's good. Keep moving. And it's not too bad. And now just immediately turn around. This is great. Yeah, I think we'll see what the damage is, but I feel fairly impactful this game. I mean, you can only do what you can. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to win. Just how much pop tarting am I going to get off before the end, and we'll check the score. So 616, 110. So decent damage there. And this is like a lesson of suppressive fire early, helping the team position. It really depends on what your team is going to actually do at that time, but it gives your team time to do something, whatever that is that they're going to manage to do. Let's see. I wonder how the other players did in terms of damage. I think we got some, you know, good LRM damage enabled by holding locks. I will say, like, part of this game is kind of illustrating exactly what I want to be doing in terms of getting into aggressive positions. Like, you wouldn't want to do this with a lot of mechs. I do have people streaming behind me, but I did look around a little bit there.
At 0%.
And I see I've got some cover. They might be able to shoot me occasionally while pop tarting, but at least. So this part, I think I'm a little vulnerable more than I realize, and I could be a little more aware of my back. So put increase back awareness more on this mech, especially. I may even put some back armor on this thing. Like, I don't know. I think it really could be worth it. I know, like, the good players never do it, but maybe they just don't suck like me and get shot in the back all the time. So anyway, let's move on to the next game. I think we got some. That one actually, I mean, this was a decent game. What should I take from that? We won. So in a sense, like, major mistakes weren't there, and the team did a lot of that work. So there may just not be too many lessons to take from that one. Oh, did I skip one? Series station. Did we cover this one? 407. Wow. Okay, yeah, baiting. Super powerful. Super strong early when works. We got that immediate kill advantage on that game because of that. And then the team kind of just rolled through. I mean, I would say example of successful NASCAR game. Our team might have just been faster than the other one. Let's keep going though. We've got so many games here. I'll try to take some more lessons at the end of final, and also it'll be interesting just to see how it works. But looks like we got a short one coming up. What's going to happen here? I want to just take note here in the very beginning. I might have taken a second before I activated this. So, like, I'm not quite... Like, look how far ahead this guy is of me. he started facing the right direction, so that's one reason, but that's an Evan Jaguar, and now I'm like, I'm wanting to get out there and get some of these scouting in, some of the jumping, scouting, and let's just see how it goes. But this is a really short game, so it's going to go pretty bad. I think I didn't realize how late I was, and I went for a really aggressive scout, and then I also didn't realize in this map that you have to go all the way around here to avoid, like, I could jump over that, sure, but they would definitely be able to snipe me from behind. So this is a way overly aggressive scout because the team's not in position to support. I'm also late. I was hoping to maybe just get some trades with some light. I wasn't expecting anything heavy to be around here yet.
New target acquired.
But I think I saw something there. I was like, let me just get out of here now and turn around. And I was going to sweep my head, but I didn't even peek that corner, and you can just get one shot immediately. So, sorry, team there. This is learning to sort of, sometimes I think you're trying to learn how to aggressively scout. It's a dangerous thing to do, and it's got to be a fine line, and I think should happen. So another 0. But let's see what happens next game. Looks like it's the same exact map. Oh, hopefully we could do a little better on this one. Let's mark that one down too. So 0, 0, 0. Loss, presumably. Let's just say definitely down no matter what. And I'd say beware over aggressive scouting, especially when late. It came in a little late, and then beware back angles on retreat. I think if I just looked more carefully at the mini map about how exposed my back would be, I maybe would have just turned back earlier, which would have been by far the more sensible thing to do. So, oh gosh, no. So, on to the next one. So here I'm going back to this sort of area. I don't remember if it was on this side or the other side, but I was doing some kind of peeking around here in one game that went pretty well. At least this peeking part, but let's see. Kind of do this active jump jet scouting. I like it. At least I'm moving and quickly going to go into cover when I generate the scout report. It's going to be a lot safer than if I am not moving. Standing still or moving directly towards or away from them, which makes me look still on their screen. So I'm standing still now, obviously, and there's a dude that could shoot my back. Oh yeah. At least I call him out. I'm glad I target spot him. Apparently missed a shot. I think one thing I could realize here is and I think I called him out to the team. I don't know. I think if I just moved with the jump jets a little better, I could have realized that it's going to take him a long time to get me down with those LBs, and I could spread the damage around, so I could have. But what I do is completely avoid looking at him now. I'm like, I'm going to just try to keep my back protected and try to get some other shots off on other people. And hopefully by calling him out, we can have members of the team that can effectively engage with them be the ones to engage with them. And we can just try to get a little bit of poke damage in here in some of these angles. Like, this doesn't necessarily seem the most productive because I'm sharing it with someone else. So, if I can get these free shots off while they're doing that, I will, but I don't want to spend ideally too much time. Like, what's the point of being a speedy 120 kph when I'm standing in the middle of my team and they have way less speed and don't need to get there? So, I want to try to use it somehow if I'm going to play this thing. But let's see if we do. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I like this idea of going back to spawn. I think we could get some angles here. It's 2-1, so the team's trading well, and we've at least been showing our face and some shots downrange, so I'd say not completely not contributing to that. Am I going to get the idea of going for a longer flank here? Yes, this is better. It just didn't jump very effectively there. Even that guy. Yeah. I think I could actually go all the way around here. Might be smart. I could, you know, that's a direwolf up there, but you can kind of 1v1 a direwolf in this thing if you're looking a corner and jumping around and pop darting it. So, well, I got all the way behind, and now I'm going to start bugging them from back here. And think about that. This could be like either suicidal or not, depending on the situation, right? Like right now it's 4-2. That's a key detail of whether this is a sane move, because in some ways, like, I have just put myself in the eye of their NASCAR. But then look, our team is holding left. So our team is actually pushing into here. And this is a situation where if I do get them to come with me, this could be a massive bait of getting them into the team. This direwolf above me is suppressed half the time already by my team. So I don't have to worry as much about him as I would. What I might have to worry about is him dropping down. But I do still think I'll have time to run away if I use my jump jet movement technique. And if I get him to drop down, if I get them to be sitting here in this fish in a barrel here, and if I bait them around the corner to my team, that could be like a really strong move for actually sealing off this game, even if it's not going to make my damage number go to the roof. So we'll see what happens exactly. I'm harassing them. I don't think this is quite as suicidal as it looks. And at least I can hopefully keep most of my front armor. And this direwolf, I'm so worried about my back armor here. I should be. I even go back here. I'm taking even more front shots, but I'm going to keep the sides going. This is like kind of insanely ballsy here. I think going even more forward was a little crazy, but I think we're going to get out of it. And look, they've been going after my right arm. This is kind of like, I feel like at the closer ranges they can afford to target it, but here we're cycling back and we're hoping that we'll bait someone, and now we found someone who doesn't even know where we're here, and you can just get free shots. This is perfect, right? Stop focusing on the people that are chasing me, let my team handle them, and cycle out and start getting some free shots on someone else. This is exactly how I want to be playing this thing with the speed, because other people don't have that same choice to disengage that I necessarily do. So we got to exercise that. And 6-4, so it's actually still a little bit close here. I'm like stuck on someone. We're at least so concentrated here, but I've shared a lot of armor too, so. But at the same time, it's like well distributed, right? Like, look at this. As long as I don't get my arm. And this guy's going down. And he's got Thunderbolt, so he can't shoot what he wants.
Maybe,
But I'm toward CT now, but we are 8-5. And now I'm even deeper.
Yeah, circle.
And listen to what's going on in the chat. So that king crab has been engaged on by a light who is like been struggling to just occupy his attention. But I think because of that guy, he hasn't been getting shots off in the back of our team. So
Busy. Yeah, I'm keeping him busy, so he's not sniping, which is what he wants to do, but yeah.
yeah, I think that keeping him busy was huge, and I think I called that out in the chat. I'm like, you're doing a valuable job here. So now I'm like, well, for one thing, they're going to have to get in the circle. For another, I don't know where the rest of the team is, but I don't think they're going to be hugging this high ground. Even though I'm down to 39%, I think it's totally the right call here to go up to this high ground on their side of the map to get a few more shots off. And I think we do, and you know, whatever, just a few shots here and only 385 damage, but I think we effectively shared armor there. I think this little weird maneuver was actually quite good in terms of baiting their team, because we did get a kill advantage after we got up to 5-2 when I pulled them in, and then they did get back up, but you know, we managed to keep firing and the team pulled it out. So yeah, being like a source of confusion is like totally part of the ways that you'll contribute. Is one of these lights not necessarily reflecting the damage, so 5. Never getting any kills on this thing, though. Oh. Doesn't matter. All right, we got Canyon Network. Let's see how we can do here. And it's a skirmish. I like to wait. I've realized you got to choose the map and then you choose the mode. I love skirmish mode, but I hate it on certain big maps. And Canyon Network's small enough. Let's see what I do. I think I remember liking what I did at the start of this game, and I've been thinking about this aggressive scouting because I just went up. Oh, I see him. Shoot at him. This is perfect. Except that I'm just letting the ground absorb all my shots, but you know what? You'd think after playing the painted this much, I could like actually figure out how to avoid do that and not get stuck on this frickin' terrain all the time, and maybe know how to save up enough of my jump test shoots to actually get shots off. And yeah, I'm missing every single one. Have I even hit a single shot of like the 7 or 8 that I've shot here? Another miss. But look, I've halted their NASCAR, and actually, look, our team is like congealing. I think they run up and they saw me just shooting the enemy, and they're like, huh, I don't have to NASCAR around. Maybe I'm taking too much credit for that. But I'm getting uncontested shots off, and also, like, and just how long are they going to want to keep on doing this?
Target acquired.
Even if I'm not getting that much damage in on every shot. And I do it, finally, I'm starting to hit some. Targeting the big dudes. Miss more, though. It's still good. We've suppressed... So now the high ground has kind of been cleared off. I haven't been doing it alone, but with the combo of the team, with that guy dropping down, I'm like, we gotta take advantage of this by getting a little more aggressive still. And here we see high ground's not completely occupied, but I got my cover. So really happy with the positioning so far, if not with the aim, which has been pretty trash. And the environment blocking the shots also kind of trash, but nice shot on that light. He doesn't like it.
Target spotted.
But we can miss still more shots. Think about how many shots I've taken though. Like, if I was actually hitting him, we could have some decent damage numbers this game, finally. But I'm not. That's okay. Ooh, finally hit some nice little snapshots. But you know, you take enough, eventually you gotta hit something, right? And now I've gotten a little more aggressive, and you can see I'm still alone. And this is like, I think this is a great position potentially, because I do have an escape route to the rest of the team. It's with the team's rotation. And yet I'm in the middle of them. I don't want to have ER PPCs here. I've got the perfect kind of PPC for this range. And I can just poke this dude in the shoulder. And annoy the crap out of him, hopefully. Miss over and over again, but at least we're shooting.
Target spotted.
And the team's up 2-0, so... In this map, like, you know, the team that takes the high ground usually is going to be able to shoot the enemy like fish in a barrel. And I'm trying to call out Hotel because I'm like, you are going to get frickin' cored over there, buddy. But I think I'm telling him, watch out for Hotel.
Fuel at 0%.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Let's just get beat ahead a little bit. I think maybe I'm overstaying this position, and it could be time to rotate somewhere a little more fruitful. Like maybe I can get an angle on that Atlas over there. Maybe I'll try it eventually. Maybe I'll just go way back.
Fuel at 0%.
3-1. So I don't know how aware I am of the team crashing in down here. So it's the time where keeping the attention of these guys in Charlie 3 so that they can't help without getting killed by them would probably be a good idea. But actually, these guys are getting on too, so yeah, gotta just hope to hit those shots. But and we've got a total crush going on. I mean, think it's a total cleanup. Might not get that much damage in the end of this one. But I think we did our role there, especially in the beginning, even though we weren't getting the damage in, just showing the mech as a target and making them think, do I want to sit here and trade this? 381. I don't know how useful it is calculating the assists and whatnot. So from these past two games, I'd say, you know, it's good in both that we survived to the end. We didn't get that much damage, but we did win twice in a row. And so far, we're more wins than losses. So maybe that justifies the take that we're actually contributing in some of these games. I mean, the early poke in this one was really good. Found early poke spot for expression. Maybe miss every shot though. I think, I wonder what my accuracy score, I bet it's like 50 or 30%. I don't know. It's pretty bad. But I was good positions there. I think the only time I could have done a little bit better in terms of position. So their team also made major mistakes here. Like, let's be real. Like, in terms of how this was won, they didn't have any presence on like any of the map. I've been in their position too. Where you're just like, you feel like you're just stuck in the corner. They went for the standard NASCAR. They're on the low ground. Sometimes you just feel like you can't help at all. Like, as this Panther, I probably would have been trying to poke at different parts of the map, but sometimes it just feels like every time you peek your head out, someone's shooting something at you and you don't want to keep trading that, and the rest of your team's on the low ground and it just feels like there's nothing you can do. So I think that's probably what happened to them, and I do think that just shooting helps. And then in terms of the last game, I think, you know, effective use of armor in the game, reposition and call out the shots. Call out crab. I think I in general had decent repositioning in this game. More back awareness. Good. And I missed a lot of shots again, so maybe it's like time for me to sit with the aim trainer before I do another round with this guy, but I'd rather practice it in a way that's more fun. So that's why I just thought, you know, getting more shots, but maybe I got to start thinking specific things about my aim, like
Online.
just fire discipline, I guess, like waiting until you really have it lined up. Oh, okay. So this is an interesting game. This is Assault, so base capture, and I've realized my team is doing a kind of insane heavy NASCAR, and I was just thinking, like, man, if one light decides to cap, like, we might actually be kind of screwed. And I'm like, wait, what if like more of the team comes and tries to cap? We really might be screwed. So we'll see what kind of happens. I go back because I'm like, I want to be at least in position to defend, to rotate to defend, like if not in range of the base, in range of getting in range. And if I could maybe call out some targets if they are pushing, if I could get some locks, I could maybe convince the team to turn around before it's too late. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how it works out though. Maybe they won't even come here, and maybe we'll be able to push up a little bit before we see anything. But oh, I've seen my first light. I'm so out of support range, I don't even want to really engage here. So I think I'm gonna back up further, and I'm thinking, like, you know, even if I do mid damage to the, I don't have to like kill the dude capping. Oh, and there's another guy. So I now know there are a bunch of people coming.
Where we are? We don't know where they are.
I called out where some of them were, but they don't think they know, and I'm trying to get those locks. But now I'm like,
That's where they are.
yeah, they're coming in. They're coming in hot. Oh, So could have paid more attention to the minimap with that jump, but it's a little bit of a quibble.
Acquired.
Yeah, and now I've seen like 6 of them rotating in. I think the only main criticism I have myself is like trying to communicate the urgency of this. Like, I don't know if my team realizes how many of them are going over here, and I'm like, okay, I'll shoot this dude in the back a little bit. I guess they're capping, but oh my god, that's a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes.
New target acquired.
I think I was like, I didn't realize he's behind that or something, but okay, finally do interrupt the cap, but I didn't see that little locust right there, even though he's right in front of me, or Raven, I guess. And oh, they're on me. Okay, that's yeah, the rest of the team is here. The enemy team, I mean, not a single teammate to be seen.
New target.
And they went on caps. Surprise. Yeah. If I wanted to get increased pilot rating on this game, I think I definitely could have focused a lot more on staying a lot, well, not even being the tail of the NASCAR, basically. Because I chose to be at the tail of the NASCAR there, but I think in terms of actually affecting the outcome of the win, the tail of the NASCAR was the place to be, because it's like somewhat relatively in support range of the team, and it could get them to turn around. And let's see how long after I died they got the cap. So I got 1 interrupt on it, and basically what I'm saying is I had a few minutes, and if I had been further out,
They can win like that.
and this guy, if they want to win like that, they can win like that. Oh yeah, that's the copium right there. Skulkosaurus. Oh yeah. I mean, if we want to lose like that, we could lose like that, I'd say, but yeah. Honestly, for this one, better team comms. I don't care how many of those. Better team comms, stay big close to the team. Like, you know, I didn't. That one might have been hopeless, but other ones won't be. And I should, if I die like that in the beginning, obviously I'm not contributing at all. And further away from the rotation, even if they're capping. Seems urgent. I try to time my death with the cap. Cap. Like I should have tried to really survive until they were about to fully cap it. So, and I mean, imagine the way that I could have really been impactful this game. Truly, would be if I had gotten some damage preventing him from cap occasionally, and then, maybe if I'd been like out in like B6 or B7, I could like thrown some shots off and given the team more time to rotate back, because we weren't too behind on kills, and I was one of those. So like I wasn't looking around enough, clearly, when I got destroyed. I think I was like focused on staying within the support range of the team, I guess, in some ways, but the enemy had like literally come between us. I was like completely cut off, and I even here I'm not paying attention to my mini map, or I would have seen something. So yeah, I mean, I don't think necessarily that would have been a really hard game to win, but there's still some good lessons in how I died early compared to some of these wins even. So let's go on All right, we now have the desert. I'm taking a little while to join. Come on, wake up me.
Target acquired.
In the early part of these games, just, you know, they can determine where people go, which is how, despite not necessarily being a high damage amount, it can be really impactful. So looks like this game, I looks like I've noticed, so on Tourmaline, we've got what I would consider to be the bad side of Tourmaline, because I often would think like we get the snipers up here and like, oh, what is this? Echo 7, I guess, high ground. It's like Echo 7, Delta 7 area. And they can see down like into Echo 6, Echo 5, F5, F6, where the team usually pushes. And if there ends up being a NASCAR, basically it ends up with the people on that high ground being able to rain down fire onto the rotating team in on the side that I spawned on. So it's not a very good NASCAR thing. And then what teams often try to do, that's why teams end up pushing through Death Valley, which is the like F7 valley area. And that also ends up being really bad, which is why it's called Death Valley. So don't recommend going there. But in this case, they're not holding those sniping positions, which is pretty bad, potentially. Maybe they just don't have any longer range mechs, or maybe they don't know this. So I've decided to push in and take advantage of it, hopefully, by getting ahead of the NASCAR and like basically just, you know, poking in and seeing what we can see. So we'll see how it goes. I want to be extra careful though, because the snipers could pop up at any time. So I think that's why I'm going to be, you know, I'm like just very cautiously poking my head up here, because I don't know where they are. They should be in Delta 7, but they're not.
Target acquired.
And we even have people pushing through Death Valley right now. So I can really afford to poke here and start getting some shots off. And then we've kind of like basically established the team. They're like, oh, it looks like that area, this Panther's hanging out in the safe and he's getting shots off. Like I should go over there. Maybe I can get some damage in.
He was an assault, so let's be careful.
Um,
Target acquired.
and yeah, keep eyes out on this side, and if we could get some shots off there, but
Target spotted. Target spotted. Need assistance.
basically just pop targeting in the corner. I'm exposing a little more than I need to, but at least I'm getting the shots off here.
Target spotted.
They're not always exposed enough. And let's see, so this Shadow Cat keeps on climbing up this giant rock and getting some insane angles. I think he got a UAV there. And I just exposed myself kind of massively to go try to poke at him. And I think if I were like a little bit more considering, like, I think I was like a little stressed and freaking out here, but I didn't need to expose this much for that. And I have a target rich environment here, so I think if I kept my head a little more cool, I could have gotten a little more damage, poking the spots I need to. Like this is perfect because that bull shark can't contest me, so I should, you know, driving him back while the team is engaging on Echo 5 is great.
At 25%.
And even here, you know, like at this point, I actually think the exposing is probably getting to be decent because we're 6-3. I don't want to like give them free kills on me, but if I can get them to focus on me while the team's like engaging, it's becoming more and more advantageous. So, but at this point, the game's pretty much over. I didn't really do that much, and the team just won it. I may have helped get them into the right position, but we'll see. I think I like just tank a ton of damage, trying to just exchange shots with this guy at the end, but. And we only got 395 again, but we got another win. Let's see, got a couple more games here. I tell you, these zeros probably really hurt the overall PSR change, but otherwise we seem to be getting some wins, and let's see what we do in this purple map. The purple map, I don't remember what it's called, but there's only one really purple map. I guess there's that other one that's kind of purple, or pink. This one's more purple. Let's see. I'm gonna scout ahead a little bit. Okay, am we getting scouting? No. Looks like... Who is getting that scout?
Target acquired.
Someone. But because of that, you can see more than just me is reacting and halting the NASCAR, and we're coming around, and I can see the LRMs raining on this guy, and
5%.
now I'm the one getting the scout, and those LRMs are still coming in, but they're missing, but
At 20.
it's still a great position for me, potentially, as long as I don't get rotated into hard by the other team and get gibbed badly. So, you know, I want to be ballsy to the extent that I can, and you know, train the aggression, learn how to be aggressive safely. That's my goal. Not safely, but cautiously aggressive.
At 25%.
Cautiously, relentlessly aggressive, I guess. So we see poke angle there. That could be good if that guy keeps poking out, or it's like over there too, but some of the blocks on this terrain are a little tough. Let's just see what's happening here also in terms of the mini-map. It looks like they're going for a bit of a NASCAR, huh? And we have one random dude off in Delta 6. I don't know if he's going to be contributing. If he gets good angles, you know, it depends on if they can stay in cover for him. I'd probably be curious. Now I've got a perfect angle, right? I just miss every shot. Probably should have taken a free shot on that generator before he died, but considering that he was standing still for me. But that Orion wasn't too happy about that. Keeping him locked.
25%.
And
At 0.
yeah, heat vision at this range, probably something I could have considered even earlier. Might have helped me see some stuff better.
Target destroyed.
Know what that Battle Master was thinking.
Acquired.
I guess like if this is them getting caught by a hold on the NASCAR, and a smart NASCAR would not just crash headlong into this kind of ambush. And you see, I'm trying to be a little more aggressive yet again, but I realize I'm a little surrounded, so I dropped that UAV, and we get a couple of pings on the map, and I got missiles coming in, which kind of stopped me from peeking that guy so nicely, but the team is just rolling here, and I'm better off exposing and just trying to get some damage in, so we can just miss some shots and expose ourselves.
Acquired.
Yeah, that would be my chance to get a kill, but
New target acquired.
they're just dropping like flies at this point. At least we're getting the shots off. I don't know what to learn from this game. The enemy team lost this like too hard for me to even do anything. They just suicided into an ambush there with the NASCAR. Maybe we can learn from the enemy what not to do. I don't know how much damage we're gonna get in here, but I don't even feel like I did anything. Another 350 damage win. Oh, what that SSR? I'm gonna drop the assist column. I'm sick of freaking trying to figure out what that is. It's only track the kills. We didn't get any of those. So like if we had an influence in either of these games, it's more like by determining where the friendly team went, really. I mean, to the extent I can even say that I did that. By taking trades. Impressive. Encourage them. Good shot. So like if I can identify safe places to trade that the team can easily get to, and then like show them, hey, like the water's fine. That's probably one of the more impactful things you can do with this mech. That obviously will not get reflected in PSR, except that you'll win more offense. So I think for this one, I'm just gonna say they rotated like potatoes. And fine. Two at a time. Ambush. If I were on their team, in this mech, it would have been hard. There's no right flank there. They should have been much more spread out. They can't outright over here. Maybe they could. I mean, there's like probably some high ground over there. I would have been, but look at that guy just dying over there. This is no. They're trying to outright. That's the problem. Okay, there's no outrighting there. You can't flank right around this because you're at the edge of the map, and that is a giant wall, isn't it? So that's why they got caught. You know, I guess if you can NASCAR, don't. That's the lesson for them. But one more game. I mean, the win-loss ratio is looking good already. Let's see how it did. I did too many games here just because some of these were short, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything. Does that even count? But I'm putting all the games in, so you know, you saw some shit games here. Let's see here. I've had some other games on the Panther where I took the saddle here, but I'm hoping that this will do a little better. And why am I going into the saddle yet again? Because I'm just like, I just want to get some trades early and then see where they are, stop their movement, give my team time to move wherever, and then depending on what happens, we're gonna rejoin the team and try to, you know, continue to get damage in. But we'll see. And so instead, I'm just poking here, taking artillery. That was pretty painful on a light mech to take that, especially when I was like just inches away from not being in it. But
Fuel at 0%.
in this case, it looks like everyone's followed me to the saddle here, and
Target acquired.
yeah, we'll see how this game turns out. I don't know about pushing over the saddle.
0%.
Like, if we could get them to push into us, like, oftentimes this part that I'm in, this is a good place for mechs like I am, in theory, pop-tarting, right? That's how we should be getting some good trades here. But a lot of the trades that I think the team is getting, like this guy's really standing out there. You're giving the enemy team time and a chance to
New target acquired.
get damage in, but we are 1-0. I don't think I've done that much here, but at least I'm shooting. My gun barrels are warm. A little bit.
Target acquired.
And, you know, look at all that AMS. I didn't realize how much I could have just stood there and took the missiles, but, you know, dodging missiles is also good. We want this trades to just be efficient, so we want to minimize any incoming damage trading here that isn't directly serving increasing. This guy's like exposed way too far, right? So we should try to take advantage of that by getting some shots off the dudes that are shooting him, but he's going out too far and he's probably going to die out there, huh? I don't know. Why didn't he just go backwards? But I've been there. I've been there. And I wonder if I'm overstaying the welcome up here, but that guy's retreating and making me feel like no, so, but
New target acquired.
little did I know about that Centurion there. I'm still at 85, so, you know, I've had fire coming at me, but it hasn't been too egregiously damaging yet. But like, look, now I'm by far the farthest forward, or 2-2. So this is really a game on our hands, and it's going to be determined just by sort of trading efficiency in large part, but across all of the team.
Airstrike online.
And it looks like, you know, we both have a lot of LRMs, but I do think their team is in a much better position to avoid getting killed by LRMs. So I do like this position that I'm at right here, because I still have a lot of armor and I want to share it, but I want to share it more conservatively than that guy who just charged out there and died, for instance. So we want to try to, like, that hunchback just exposed himself to potentially get me and ended up getting shot by that marauder maybe.
Left arm.
I heard the hag going off, so. And here, you know, keeping those gun barrels warm if I can. Watching them peek out. As long as I can just always get away. And I'm down to 77, but
New target acquired.
we're 2-3 now.
Warning incoming missile.
Yeah, avoid any missile fire. Let's see, just trying to find these angles, but it's hard. So like, even though I have in some sense the technical high ground, it's not the high ground in the sense, it doesn't give me the peak control that I want, because they also have the ability to choose when to expose themselves or not. So in a way, the people on that low ground have even more peak control. But there's a lot more places that we can peek from, so you know, this I should have exposed myself more, stayed down there, could have done a little more damage. I was like, I want to just get that light. At least I got one shot off here, but
At 0%.
I'm like realizing, shit, the team's freaking dying that's coming down here, so come back to the team and try to just keep shooting at whatever's exposing. I never really feel like I got a chance to share armor in a way that would like really help the team here. And he just has to peek right as I do that, but yeah. So this is like the sort of move that I need to make, because I think I did get a positive trade there, and we need to find ways to get more damage in situations like this, because the team's 2-6, so it needed to happen before, really. How did that, when did the team get to 2-6 while I was doing these trades? Who's killing them? People that go out die. 2-2. So who's out here?
Incoming.
Yeah.
New target acquired.
Yeah. So I don't think I realized that, you know, our vision, we were losing people out there. That was a big part of the kill ratio. I didn't really effectively get the fire in while they were dying out there.
5%. Fuel at 0%.
So probably the enemy team had a good force concentration advantage against these two mechs that came around Delta 5. Well, anyway, I'm jumping around here. I think, spoiler alert, we're gonna lose this one, but I'm gonna get some damage in. But I want to think about ways that I could actually have helped win rather than just do more damage. In this case, I've got my leg down, so I'd been kind of aggressively running in, and then once they started targeting the leg, I realized I gotta like really more pop tart. What kind of helped is like at some point we're 2-6, and I think I told people to be a little patient, and we got them to push in a little bit, and we maybe got a little higher at 4-7. You know, this is, well, we haven't degraded that much from 2-6, and I think the credit for that is we let them push into us, which is what we should have done a long time ago. So, I think getting the team to push in probably would have been, getting our team to hold back and let them push in would have been better deal. But at least I survived and I kept on shooting stuff and sort of contributed. I don't know. 0, 5, 7, 11. They call this a PSR up. I think it's a little ridiculous. Just because I did more damage. I think I contributed to the win. Like, we didn't win. So, it didn't work. Like, the damage didn't work. So, why am I getting PSR for this? I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I should get PSR down for those. And we should just track wins, but let's take a look at the overall win-loss ratio. We definitely did better than last time. I should totally just have this be, let's just have a loss be -1. We can do some sums. Mm. Well, I won't make you sit through me figuring out the spreadsheet stuff, but I think we did do quite a bit better this time. I'm not sure how much of that was the coaching. The damage numbers are objectively 70 points higher. Nothing crazy. Our win-loss ratio is definitely a lot better. We only had 4 wins, and this time we definitely got positive. And then the PSR up, we definitely did a lot better too. So I think that what worked was, except for this one, we did get some good aggressive scouting in that seemed to, I think, just from my perspective, help. The Tourmaline Desert game, the even these other games, like just calling out stuff. I think a lot of the times that we lost, it was like essentially due to the team getting outmaneuvered. And if I actually wanted to win, like it's about communicating better what's happening. Sometimes I think it's just going to happen that they go for an objective, like the rotation that happened into on that assault map on Bear Claw. And in retrospect, it could have been such an epic game if I'd managed to kind of hold out and give the team time to come back. So I don't want to like hate on those situations, even though in the end I died and had 80. I think I'm still going to vote for assault on Bear Claw, and maybe I'll just try to clutch it out better or something. I still have fun in those games and still learn from these. Just compare what happened in this game where I died with 0 damage to the game on Canyon Network where I did the early jumping scouting and I started shooting so early. Like, that's what I really want to do, but you need to find the right angles for it, and it can be tricky on different maps. So just learning that. For this one, I mean, the last lesson I didn't really cover, but I almost think, like, should I have not guided them to the saddle? Should I have not started taking those trades there? Because maybe it's just a bad place to hold there. But if we'd just been more patient, so I think communicate the team strat patience. I think I could have just also gotten a few more shots and traded out a little better. But that was a bunch more games. I don't know. Maybe anyone learned something. I think I'm definitely going to be focusing more on my aim. I think that came through more for me. I felt a lot better about my positioning in a lot of these games where I'm ending up like below 400, upper 300s. And in those games, the aim would have made a difference. But look, every single one of those, we won. So the games we lost, oftentimes team comms, and then yeah. And then I guess, this one we didn't take advantage of my team tanking and be there for the fight of the rotation. This one we were there for the fight the whole time. Just if anything, we encouraged the fight to happen in a slightly overly aggressive position. People got impatient and rushed over and kept on dying. And the flank that a couple of our teammates did around the side gave the enemy team a chance. It's just so difficult to like do it on that map. Look at this one again, River City. It's really hard to coordinate an attack when your team is like the one that's spread out. So like, I think right now they're all concentrated like an Echo 5, Delta 5, and then we had people that went on this flanking mission into Delta 5, and it's just impossible for them to coordinate peaks with people on the saddle. And so they died pretty quickly. I don't know. Yeah, here's the flanking mission. We had 2 mediums or whatever go go over and die out there, which
Warning incoming.
I think it can also just be frustrating to be sitting back and just waiting. They might just want to play another game. I mean, it is just a game after all. People trying to have fun, so how patient do you want to be? I'm willing to be pretty patient if I feel like it's a strategic thing going on. A lot of players in MechWarrior Online are. I mean, we have some of probably the most patient players because it's just such a slow-paced shooter. This guy charging down, I mean, what is this? What is this, buddy? What do you... This is so unnecessary, right? And this is getting us up to 2-5.
At 0%.
So... am I just blaming the team for this one? I definitely could have hit a lot more shots and I could have supported better, but this trickling in, I do think is what lost it to us. But sometimes that's what it's about. Well, everyone, if you've listened to this whole thing, thanks a lot, and I hope you have enjoyed some of these MechWarrior videos. I don't know if you'll be interested at all in any of the other random crap that I'm going to end up posting on here, but and other random games. But if you have enjoyed, hope you have a nice rest of your day and take it easy.